For this project, I want to draw a Valentine's heart with an arrow through it. And to get started, you can put your paper really in either direction. I like it in the landscape direction because it gives me more room to put things around the side. So follow me and put your finger in the middle of the paper, and then let's slide up about halfway to the top. We need a dot right there. Now I'm going to jump over, because I'm going to make this a pretty big heart. I'm going to jump over 3 fingers wide, and then I'm going to move over and do it again, and then I'm going to look at these 2 spaces to see if they're about the same, and if they are, then I'm ready to sketch the top of the Valentines. When I start out, I'm going to start from the middle, and I'm going to get the line going, and then I'm going to very lightly sketch in, because I want to come around like a rainbow. And I'm going to turn the paper and get more comfortable. Now, sketching gives me a great advantage in that I'm not stuck with the line that kind of does its own thing. I can make it do what I want to do. If I draw slow enough, then I can make it do what I want to do. And I don't just put my pencil down and run with the line. I sketch. I just put a line down very, very lightly so I can kind of see it before I draw it. In other words, I'm not committed to that line. I can change it. Okay, now that's the top of the heart. So for the bottom of the heart, we're going to have to jump way down, probably more than 3 fingers, probably 3 fingers twice. Let's just see. Alright, this is kind of just a spot to mark. That's not all of it though. We're going to jump down, I think, 2 more fingers. Okay, now I'm down at this distance, and I can take this one away. So altogether, I'm down the full width of my hand and a little bit more. And from there, we can just start going up like a V, only it's very spread out. Okay, now I'm going back to the top, and I'm going to get back on this, and I'm going to sketch very lightly because I kind of want to see this path. Just going to come down. Eventually, we are going to run straight, but I'm going to do this very, very, very lightly. It's very light. Easy to correct. Easy, easy, easy. And if you draw really darkly, then it makes a mess when you erase. Alright, that looks pretty good, but I'm not going to darken it in until I get this other side because I want them to match. If they're not perfect, it'll be okay, but I'm going to bring this on this direction. I'm going to bend it on around until I get lined up with this, and then I can run with the line. Now I can study the shape of the heart and see if that suits me. If you're drawing with dark lines and trying to erase, then you're going to have a lot of smudges. I'm trying to get these 2 sides to match up a little better, and they don't have to be perfect, but I'm going to get them as uniform as I can, as consistent as I can, because hearts are symmetrical, and we're probably not going to get it perfectly symmetrical, but we'll do the best we can. Alright, now, in all honesty, I could just put my pencil down and make a heart that is probably good enough with just a little bit of correction. And that would work. Close enough. But when I'm doing a big heart, that's a little bit harder, and see, and sometimes the lines don't come together right, and I just think that a constructed heart that's made carefully with sketch lines works better. Especially since we're going to put an arrow through this, or at least I am mine. Now you don't have to do yours. And I'm still not going to darken it in, because when I put that arrow through there, I want to be able to erase the edge where it crosses over that. So for the arrow, I am going to put a dot here, and then I'm just going to run across. I'm going to put a dot there, straight line, put a dot there. These line up on an angle, and then I'm going to come out on this side. So why I did that? Because the arrow would go straight through, but we're not going to see this part of it. It's hidden underneath the surface of the heart, but it lets me get a line that goes fairly straight like this. Where it punctures through, there would be these little curves, perhaps like that. I double thicken that line, so now I'm going to go up here and double thicken this line. And on this one, I'm going to put an arrow tip. I'll draw it and then I'll get it up close to where you can see it better. It's a triangle with a curved bottom, more or less. Like that. And you can do yours different. If you've got a different way to draw it, that's fine. We could put a little 3D effect on there, just a little bit. It's to get it very 3D, it would take some more work. All right, and I'm going to put an arrow down here. I mean the feathers. So I'll try to make a slant, and I've got my paper turned because it's more comfortable. Try to make a matching set of slanted lines. I may have to lengthen this out just a little bit more. And then another set of matching lines. And I think I'll just put a little V right there, like a little notch. You can do yours the way you want. And now I'm going to follow this line. I'm going to follow that slant. And I'm going to draw that very lightly on both sides. I'm going to follow that slant. And now for the detail, it's just more of this, like this. And that's the basics of it. Now you can darken things in. I'm going to darken it with a marker. You can just darken it with a pencil, but you're better off to wait until after you get it colored to darken it very much, because that graphite that your pencil's made out of will smear into your crayons. But I am going to go ahead and darken this one with the marker so you can kind of see what we got a little better. And I mentioned about having to erase out a little bit, but we're really not going to have to because this is dark enough to cover it. This is it says a fine tip marker, but it's not very fine. It makes a pretty thick line. And now when I color, this won't smudge or smear. So if you go over it with an ink pen and then even let that ink dry for a minute, then you can color without smudging and smearing. Pencil is just really bad for smudging when you hit it with your coloring instrument, which is probably going to be a crayon or a colored pencil. If you happen to have markers, then that would work very well for this drawing. Now I can see right here when I get into this detail part where these lines are so close, it's going to be difficult to keep that white spacing as neat as I would like to, but that's good enough, I guess. Yeah, that'll work. That will work. Alright, you could just color it from that point, or you could go around and put like some trim, and I'll just give you an example. It's I've got this turned around to make it more comfortable. It's like little half rainbows, And if you can keep them consistent, that is about the same width, they don't have to be perfect, but if you can keep them consistent, then it makes a real pretty little border. And of course, you don't have to do this. You could just go around it with another line. Just trace right around it. Keep your spacing, just uh, not too wide, but, just put another line, space it away a little bit, and put another line right around. It might work better to the inside because we've already got our arrow in place. And then you could color the heart. I'll show you, for example, on another one. It could just be like this, just double lines, and it doesn't have to be fancy like that. But I'm making it not like this either. This is just 2 lines with circles. That will take a long time. Anyway, it's up to you if you want to do a border around this or not. I am going to do it, and you can decide for yourself. Now, if you want to write something on the heart, that's great. And I can see the problem right now is that when I get up here at this arrow, it's really going to crowd that up. I should have drawn that arrow longer to allow for that. And when you're doing art, sometimes you don't think of everything. And very often I will start a project over just to take care of a problem that I ran into. But I think I still got enough room on this one for it to work out. Now I'm going a little more quickly than probably I normally should, because it would be better if we could keep these really nice and neat and consistent, and mine are changing sizes a little bit. But then on the other hand, it's art, so it's okay. Neat is good. The more you can do to keep it neat, the better it's going to turn out. That's just going to always be true. I can't think of any time that being neat is going to hurt you. I didn't know what to do down there, so I just put an extra little piece. Yeah, that don't look good. Oh well, kind of stuck with it now. Now, if you wanted to draw some other hearts on here, and I'll just do the quick version and hope that they turn out okay. You can put more hearts, or you can draw other things, or you can write in this space, or you can do whatever you want. It's art, so just have fun. Alright, now the challenge is going to be for me to move over here and make one just like it. And that's probably not going to happen. I'll get it close as I can. Let's see. They probably won't match. Well, I guarantee they won't perfectly match. Yeah, I can see I've got that one misshaped a little bit. But close enough that it'll work. Alright, so there's a simple little heart project, and from there, you can write on that or put other designs in there that might relate to that some way. So I'm going to color for a little while, and hope it was fun.